KPPP-LP Fargo Moorhead 88.1 FM. You're listening to Finding Me. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening. This is Finding Me at KPPP-LP Radio with Nemo Cicados, your host, adding local queer color to your airwaves if you're in the Fargo Moorhead area. Like and subscribe at Duke1517 on YouTube. Follow me at my social media at Nemo Potatoes. And you can follow the rest of the radio's programming and work at the People's Press Project, at KPPP Radio, and at Mexican Online. You can call and leave a 3-minute message for me at 701-566-0917 or email me directly at nemo@kppfm.com. Or use the message tab at kpppfm.com/finding-me on the contact tab. Send me a message. And also, you can support this program and our work at kpppfm.com/donate, or take a look at having us support your business at kpppfm.com/underwriting-opportunities. And check that out. Okay, so again, splitting this into 2 parts. If you're listening to the first week, this is only part 1. If you're listening the second week, stick around for part 2. So now we are in episode 3 of She-Ra. They arrive to Bright Moon. Glimmer suggests that Bo take Adora through the back way, through the bedroom of hers at her window, where Bo had approached Glimmer before when asking about, hey, let's check out the first one's tech. Right, so they begin to disguise her while Glimmer tries to tell Angela, her mother, about the surprise. But before that, let's see. Adora catches on to the whole thing where she's like, oh, great, right, I'm a Horde soldier, so they're not going to be so happy to see me. Meanwhile, Glimmer had passed out finally from exhaustion and using all of her magic, and I'm just like, oh. And then takes her to the, I think it's the Moonstone, and puts her under that light so that she can recharge. And then once she does, she's like, okay, so we found some first one's tech. It's super cool. And also a surprise, but I won't tell you. Goodbye. And so Angela's just like, what? We will talk about this, doing her mom thing. While she does that, she then goes back to Adora and Bo. And of course, Bo is very watchful of anyone who might be coming to Glimmer's room. But Glimmer tells them, okay, so as long as Adora appears as She-Ra, we will have 0 problems, because everybody likes She-Ra. And so then Adora has to be like, wait a minute. First off, I'm not so jazzed about turning into She-Ra because, 1, and if you recall from my previous episode analysis, it looks like she's in a hypnotic state, and Adora clarifies that, in fact, she felt a little bit out of control. So that remains to be true, which brings the question, personally, as someone watching this, so, is She-Ra its own separate entity? Because not only has Adora referred to She-Ra as the lady in the scary cape, or Bo referring to her as the lady with the sword, or being a monster or a princess, or again, dissociating it from herself, She-Ra seems to act almost independently from her if she gets really deep into it, rather than having full control of that power or working with it in balance, which is interesting considering that some of the first words when Adora had gotten in touch with her sword was restoring balance, and yet she was herself unbalanced. Kind of weird, at least in my opinion. But then Adora now has to practice turning into She-Ra on command and without losing control of that power, which is already a pretty scary thing. And let's see, I was kind of on the move while I was writing down some notes here. Let's see. So then she tries to practice in Glimmer's room, which is a bad idea because there's lots of fragile items either floating around or on shelves that are precariously hanging around. So she's like, okay, I can't properly move around here to practice this because I don't know what's going to happen and I don't want to be responsible if something breaks. So she decides to put on disguise so that she can cover the Horde insignia on her back. And then she goes out to practice to no avail. And instead of turning into She-Ra, she turns the horse that she met in the previous episode into a winged unicorn. So then she's like, and she has to go and stop the unicorn from being seen or causing a mess because obviously this horse has never flown before and now it's been turned into a unicorn. So naturally it freaks out and can't fly properly and crashes into a nearby rebellion camp full of soldiers and warriors from what we see. So while this happens, Adora's trying to get a clamp down on the situation and like, Horsey, where are you going? You better stop this right now. And in her attempt to stop Horsey from running away or causing a ruckus, the wind from the wings blows off her disguise. The Horde insignia is on her back in plain view. And then the rebellion soldiers are like, what? It's a Horde soldier. Go get her, So, she has to, like, run now and make sure that she keeps her sword so that she doesn't ruin any more than she already has, which at this point is too late just by the reveal. And meanwhile, let's see, Catra is not liked by her fellow Horde soldiers, comrades, what have you. And she gets in a fight, in an argument with them. Not a fight, just an argument, while Lonnie, one of the soldiers, is like, I didn't see it, but the princess totally screwed us all over and ruined everything. It was terrifying. I didn't see it, but that's what happened. And Catra saw it, and she's trying to delegitimize She-Ra as an entity and say, like, oh, whatever, this princess will be nothing. She is just sparkles and whatever, just like all the rest of them. And Lonnie calls her bluff and says, oh, yeah, well, you actually were there, and I heard you ran away because obviously you're here with a failed mission. And so rather than get in a fight with Lonnie and the other soldiers, you can see here that Catra is not liked by her co-workers, comrades, or whatever. I guess not comrades even at this point, because there seems to be a very general distaste for Catra as a person. And what happens is that she decides, okay, I'm not going to fight with you because I will prove you wrong eventually, but I shouldn't be wasting time with you anyhow. It feels like some high school antic type stuff and calling your bluff type things. Something that I forgot to mention, and for some reason I'm always missing it because usually I obsess about this stuff, but blink and you miss it. Rogelio and Kyle are attentive to one another during this scene with Catra. So, but you have to like look really closely and you have to like really pay attention. And I don't know, I'm not so jazzed about like side character LGBTQ representation, especially when one part of the pairing is always trashed on constantly. That's not fair to anyone. So we switch back and we meet Madame Razz. And I want you to keep this in mind. Madame Razz mistakes Adora for somebody named Mara, which, based on the implication, we could possibly foresee Mara being the previous She-Ra, and perhaps Mara looks similar to Adora. So then they go picking berries, and Razz seems kind of like an eccentric woman, and because she's got these big glasses, she's elderly with this very haggard look, and with a bunch of like winged moth butterfly-like creatures flitting around her, so it gives her a bit of a magical quality. And then it makes me wonder again about She-Ra as an entity. Like, if Razz is mistaking Adora for Mara, does that make She-Ra a reincarnation? Or is a reincarnation a matter of like being the chosen one among Adora's people? And what does that mean for Adora's residual memories? Tune in next week for more on Finding Me. This is Nemo Cicados. You're listening to KPPP LP Fargo Moorhead 88.1 FM, where we are adding local color to your airwaves.